Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Because I paused, it only recorded up to 7 seconds. I mean 7 minutes. And video recorded. Everyone. Thanks for joining. Because I paused, it only recorded up to 7 seconds. I mean 7 minutes. And video recorded around 58 to 59 minutes of video. I paused, that's why I have to do the video again, which was frustrating for me. So that is what is happening. It's the same debate as yesterday. I paused, that's why I have to do the video again, which was frustrating for me. So that is what is happening. It's the same debate as yesterday. If you should media be held by their users? So that is the debate question. I don't really like doing debates myself, but I came up with the idea because of the guest speaker thing. So I thought, let's try that. It's very interactive as well. I had to make videos. So I decided that I should be more. The guessing ones, I thought they were more better or more challenging because it gets your brain thinking and you come up with ideas. Didn't happen. That so I tried doing multiple choice questions, but they were too challenging. But I didn't make the quizzes that I did multiple choices on. I had a few multiple choice quiz, but I hardly do multiple choice quizzes nowadays. I'm doing it on thingy. Hi, thanks, folks. You're joining right now. Am I not looking? Kitty, the shy, new life. Thanks for joining, George. You're very welcome to join. So, but I'm doing the debate question because people want to. People tried joining as guest speakers, but I always found it. When I first started doing live videos on here, I just found it a bit weird and creepy. But then I've grown to like it when someone joins. They just add me on. And I was like, okay, I was very apprehensive, but I did it anyway. So I let the person join the live. I didn't even get a single response for this yesterday, for this debate question about social media companies being held legally responsible for the content that they post from their stuff. So if you would like to in the chat or just either one or the other. If you have any thoughts, please, I highly recommend. Or you can join us if you are able to. So that is that. I didn't get any interaction yesterday, to be honest, like I did on Thursday and the other days as well that I was live. It's because I have been busy doing a digital marketing course. That's what I've been up to currently. It's only for a few weeks. Welcome everyone. So please give your comments and thoughts on this it would be nice to know what you think, because there are arguments to this. There, like I said, no one was there, but I'm just saying, for example, misinformation can be reason why companies, social media companies, need to be responsible for what the users post online. And harmful content, there's a lot of content that could be harmful for young people and stuff. So for anyone really, not just young, it's the parents' responsibility to let their child's accessing certain content that they shouldn't really be accessing. But I think you copy what you see online, I would say, or you copy the words that they're saying or stuff. So I'm not saying time should restrict the, and my reason I say yes, because it's not always the user's fault, even though the user has choice of what they post, So I think the companies need to take responsibility, because I've on social media as well, but no one to help me. I even contacted the social media company about the scam that I got, because someone was recommending Bitcoin, and that's how I got scammed. Not only I got scammed, my account, I didn't get scammed, I meant my account got hacked. I didn't use social media for nearly a few months after that point. I contacted Instagram, but they didn't do anything. There was no email and no other way to do it. It's very difficult to get hold of these companies, social media companies, if you have an issue with your stuff. But I think they should be held legally responsible for the content that they post, for allowing the users to post content that be harmful. There's one content a while back, I actually got hate. Thank you for following. You're very welcome to join. Wayne, thanks for joining. If anyone has any thoughts on this, please type. You could type if you don't feel comfortable speaking on here. So, and you have to say why though, because it doesn't need to be long. It's not an essay. Just type certain words, your thoughts in like a few words or something. It doesn't need to be too long. It's not an essay. I'm not testing anyone. So, thank you, Andrew, for joining. You're very welcome. So, anything to say? So, anything to say? If you feel like you want to, if you're feeling bold, actually up to you to restrict certain content or just upload it and what it contains. A bit like what YouTube does, because YouTube sometimes does it that way when you upload. And will it be harmful to people? Does it contain some harmful material or something? Like e-safety regulations, I think that's why I feel like I say yes to social media being held legally responsible, because it can impact people's physical, mental, and emotional well-being if it's not restricted. If it's the lack of restriction that these companies are not taking precaution for. So, but I will say no if it's certain content that's promoting awareness, but sometimes it gets mistaken as negative content, which I really get because some content users try to spread awareness, but they're not really like, if you're like something happening in Palestine or Ukraine or whatever, or Yemen, all those countries that are experiencing like human crisis basically. So I guess like they need to do something to stop, to separate, because they sometimes don't allow freedom of speech, if that's supposed to. Let's say spreading awareness, because freedom of speech, people feel they can say whatever they like, and it's not really allowed though. So some, if it's racism, someone's saying racist stuff, because I actually experienced racism. Someone telling me to go back to where I came from. They told me to go back to Africa because I'm from Africa, of course. That's why they said. I didn't see someone telling me to go back to where I came from. So after it was a number of years ago. So it was that in 2000 during lockdown. Was that 2020 or 2021? That it happened. So, but YouTube did nothing. They didn't even do anything. So I didn't know. So if anyone has any thoughts, please do. But I'm talking to myself pretty much. So if you have thoughts, you can just come as a guest speaker. Invite yourself as a guest speaker. Then I will allow you to. I'll accept your invitation. You can say something. If you don't have anything to say, I mean, if you don't feel comfortable speaking, you can type as a in the chat. So yesterday, no one did anything, but I kept the topic the same in case there's people responding. And if I choose to do this guest speaker, if you have anything, thoughts, you could actually. The topic, if you're joining now, is about social media companies being legally accounted for in terms of posting the content that's posted by the users that are using social media platforms. Like some content I see, sometimes I feel like they don't know how to differentiate some content. Like some of it's like harmful for mental health, or sometimes they're not really, or sometimes they say that content is not good for people. Get banned for no reason. I nearly got banned as well for a video, for reacting for a video a few times actually, for copyright. But copyright is normal, but I got banned for, they said I was violating community guidelines on TikTok, which wasn't true. I didn't violate the community guidelines. Because I knew from when I was watching, I said, what is happening for me to be violating community guidelines? I even searched the fact that I didn't. I knew I did not violate community guidelines. Because if I know I violated community guidelines, I wouldn't be on here now. I feel like TikTok guidelines. Because if I know I violated community guidelines, I wouldn't be on here now. I feel like TikTok, it's good to spread awareness, but it's part of, but sometimes they don't even show you the real picture like in the media. Maybe the false news is, I'll say false news is, yes, I would actually say they should be held legally responsible for the post they post. if anyone has any thoughts instead of me saying something, you could type in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable being a guest, you invite yourself to say it's fine. Because some people typed and they felt comfortable doing it, so it's your choice. You have answers for this topic yesterday at all, and barely anyone joined, and I was left hanging. So if any understands means, so if you have anything to ask, or you thought of a reason why yes they should be responsible, or no that they shouldn't be responsible, then you can type in the chat why you think. If you don't feel like you are able to, so in way else. So it's absolutely your choice what you are able to, so in way else. So it's absolutely your choice what you can. I thought, but I didn't. And it's actually I did the and it helped me come up with this question. So it helped me in that sense. I should like really want to get involved in that debate. So, and it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes, so almost 2 hours of debate or video. So if you have anything thoughts, please, I would love to hear from you. I would love to see any comments or hear from you as a speaker. If you would like to add what you have to say, so because everyone has something to say. It's just an opinion. I'm not really gonna say anything negative because it's your opinion on what you think. I could counter your arguments, but the issue is, if you have anything to say, thank you for joining. You're very welcome, Ryan. So this is the topic or the debate. You just say what you think, your reason why you think they should be responsible legally, or why you don't think they should be responsible legally. There's so many reasons for this. So if you have any thoughts, you can join as a guest speaker, or you could type in the chat what you really think. So that is the two options I've given. If you have any thoughts, that's if you have. Or you could, it doesn't need to be like, it's not a test, because I'm not going to mark you. It's just an opinion. You don't need to be right or wrong. You just need to have thoughts on right or wrong. You just need to have thoughts on so if you have any thoughts on should social media companies be held legally responsible for the content that posted by their users. But I sometimes think some users are not really aware of what they're posting, or they don't realize they're posting anything that's negative. There's this one influencer, she was posting about this drug weight loss called a drug. So she was spreading false misinformation because she barely knew anything, and she said she only relied on one source, which is her mother trying that amphetamine. Because her mum had side effects afterwards from using it. For joining, you're very welcome. Thank you. So if you have any thoughts, please. About this, excuse me, I sneezed. Please jot down you can write in the chat, or you can join as a guest speaker. Those are the two options. If you don't feel comfortable speaking through the mic, you can actually do it in the chat. Oh, stop it. So you could type in the chat what you think. I personally think yes. They should think about e-safety guidelines. Some harmful content that could be deemed harmful for people in terms of mental well-being, physical health, and emotional well-being as well. So that's why I say yes. But in a sense, no, because you don't want to over restrict everything that you deem harmful. Like if someone's spreading positive change, awareness about war-torn countries like Palestine, for example, but Palestine is technically not really a country in some countries don't classify as that. So if you have any thoughts, please do. Instead of me saying something and boring you to death, you just type your thoughts in and why you think. You could disagree with what I'm saying if you like. Or if you say yes, you have to say why. If you say no, you have to say why as well. So that it works that way though. You can come to the mic if you want to speak as a guest speaker. Or if you don't feel comfortable, you can type in the chat. Because the chat is there for a reason. It's to allow option how you feel comfortable. Because I'm typing in the chat about the guest speaker. Thing you would like about this, please question. To be held legally responsible for the content posted by their users. Yes. One as well in misinformation. Because it can mislead people thinking something's actually happened. It's like doom scrolling or something like that. So, any thoughts, please do. Or speaker, brave, say something. So, those are. It'd be nice to have people's feedback. So, if any, please type. Or understand what's asked. Must have. So, if you have any thoughts, you can actually type in the chat. Or if you could join and give your opinion on this. I have my opinion is yes. My answer is yes. If you want to know what my answer is. Is majority of my answer is very much yes. Highly. It's due to e-safety. That's why I say yes. It's mostly down to and the disinformation happening, things happening in this day and age, the news and the lack of the and the lack of the hello. Oh dear. I thought I pressed. Hang on a sec. I did say. Oh no. It's gone. I did. I saw the invitation. It's gone. Don't know what's going on. Holy cow. Oh, jeez. I don't know what's going on now. I did accept the invitation. I don't know what's going on. Okay, maybe never mind. Okay, move on. So, if you have any thoughts, please, about this, you could type. But if you're brave, I'm not forcing you to speak if you don't want to. You can actually type if you don't feel comfortable, or if you aren't able to do it in an environment that you're in now, currently, where you're watching the video. So, thank you, Nashi, for joining. You're very welcome. I like everyone to feel people feeling welcome. That's how I am, you know. So if you have any thoughts, please do. I say yes, but that's my opinion. I mostly say yes to this because of e-safety guidelines. The e-safety aspect of it. So, and the misinformation that keeps happening in this. Thank you, Hanson and Cambo, for joining. You're both very welcome. So if you have any thoughts on this, any which way, you could either speak through as a guest speaker or you just. I nearly had a guest speaker, but they dropped out, I think. So I guess I don't have anybody to say anything or to type anything. No one really typed anything either. So it's about legal responsibility regarding social media companies, if they need to be held. I think they should be held accountable for eventually, because they even allowed people to access this content, really harmful material to begin with. What is considered harmful material, like, and violent content as well. Excuse me. If you have any thoughts, please type in the chat. But if you're brave, if you're feeling like you want to say something, you can join as a guest speaker. Oh gosh. Sorry. Excuse me, I mean. So if you have anything, I did. If you, no point listening to me all the time. So unless you're typing, then you will be listening to me eventually. But you could type and say why. It doesn't need to be an essay. It's no right or wrong. It's your opinion. It's just your opinion. I respect opinions on here. It's no. I respect people's opinions, but I'll actually just summarize what you say. But I'm not saying that I'm agreeing or disagreeing with you. It's your opinion. It's your opinion what you think. It doesn't really matter. So, if they should be held legally responsible for, and they need to be accounted for, then you have to say why. But if you don't think that is the case, then you have to also summarize. Just give it like a short reason or something. It doesn't need to be too long. So it doesn't need to be like, it's your opinion, it doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't really matter, to be honest. Because I always respect people's opinions on things. So someone was, like I said, yes, because of the amount of reach that social media brings, that possesses, because it's very fast and anyone can access content in an instant. Anything to do photos, videos, whatever, or posts, like written posts, like Twitter and stuff. And Twitter's now called X. X, I should be saying now. Twitter, okay. Like that, for example. So if anyone has anything to speak upon, you can join us. Invite yourself as a guest speaker. I nearly had one, but they left. I don't know why they left, but you just left. Or you just type in the chat on your thoughts and stuff. But if you don't understand the question, maybe you can type. It's just a debate. It's giving your thoughts on this. It doesn't need to be long. I'm not pressuring you to say something to have good speaking skills. That's not the purpose of this. It'd be nice to hear from people. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining. Casey. You're very welcome. I nearly had a guest speaker, but they chickened it. I don't know if they chickened out or just dropped. I wouldn't call them chickening out. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I think they dropped. I nearly had it, but the invitation disappeared. I guess they just left. So I couldn't do. And I haven't had anyone typing. Hi, how are you? You're very welcome, Ratina. You're very welcome as well. So this is the question. I'm fine, thank you. I'm doing this debate question right now. I did it yesterday, but no one really. I didn't get any responses from it. So if you have any thoughts, you could type in the chat, or you can talk as a guest speaker if you want to. No pressure. You have choices. But if I was doing someone posted debates thing, I would actually type because I'm not very comfortable with speaking. But I'm speaking now, obviously, because I'm the host. Because I have to speak on here. But you can type your thoughts on what you think. There's no. Yes, that's the question up there, yes. That's the question. That's the only question you have to answer. So if you have anything you want to. It's not. It's your opinion. It doesn't matter, you know. But my answer is yes. That's my own answer to this question. Majority is a yes. Chola Boy, Hannah, thanks for joining as well. Trump is the best. Thanks for joining. Yes, it's true. Yes, they are very much responsible. They have to be responsible because they choose to post that content. But sometimes some people say that they're not exactly aware of the content they're posting. But it doesn't really make sense for people to say that, because you should know what you're posting and why you're posting it. you have to have a reason for it. So there's always a reason for why you. Yes, it is. It is a very much. In anything, there's loads. It happens so fast. Everything on social media happens very quickly. People see in an instant. See what you're posting, the videos, photos, the written text posts. It happens all. Everything happens on fast on social media. You see it before. Once you see it, once people see it, it's there forever, really. That's the truth about social media. So I guess in this case, yes. But at the same time, yeah, so they are a third party. But initially, because they are outside of the what you're doing, they don't really care about what people are doing. They're just there to make money from what you're doing online. But they're not really caring about people's regulating the post. So I'm guessing they are a third party in that sense, that they don't feel they need to be held accountable. But they have to. I feel in a sense they need to, in some way, like in terms of the harmful content and the misinformation that we see, that fake news people are using. Used to be a term that was brought up in the late 2000s, I think, because of this people spreading lies about certain things. And some current affairs news, you don't really know if that source. Social media is not really the best source for reliability, for relying on certain things or finding out different information and stuff. Thank you, Lionman, for joining. Stephanie, thanks for joining also. You're very much welcome. So, if you both have anything, Stephanie, if you have anything to say, or you could join as guest speaker, or you could type in the chat if you're not comfortable, or if you're unable to say something in your current place. So, yes, I would say the same because they posted, because they're the ones who chose to write these things or post the things that they're posting. Because one time I was posting a video on my YouTube channel, because this is before I had TikTok actually, and it was during lockdown, it was like 2020 or 2021, and I was online. I uploaded the video, but it was days later or weeks later. I didn't even know that video. I think it only happened to much later that I found out someone posted something racist about me, basically. But I didn't even know. Gestapo, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So the user is very responsible for their own content. But sometimes, and what they're looking at as well, who they choose to follow as well. They're responsible for who they're following on social media and who they choose to subscribe to. It's their choice, really. It's mostly down to the user, but at the same time, it's down to the social media company as well. Because in case somebody's well-being is being targeted or so, like some people are very vulnerable and they're using social media. Being cyberbullied, that led to some people have taken their life. I mean, I can't say on here, but have felt like they've been harmed by people. Cyberbullying as well, like, is kind of why I feel they should be legally held responsible for. It's because of the harmful material, and projecting that harm directly to that person, that abusive behavior to that person. And people are allowed to do that. Like, you have to. Social media companies sometimes do not see what people are doing online. Like, I heard there was one article I read about this boy, and he was being cyberbullied for being gay, apparently, and he suffered quite a lot, extreme bullying. People were posting stuff regarding his sexuality. It was very harmful to him. He sadly passed on from this earth. It was very harmful for his. They wanted to spread rumor. The people that did the cyberbullying, they posted the videos and circulated around the whole campus about what he was doing with someone else. And they found out he was gay, and they were bullying him over it through the computer. So I feel e-safety is the reason why I think social media companies need to be held responsible for in the legal aspect. So Locks, thanks for joining. Yes, they need to. Even the police as well, they don't do anything themselves. My friend even got cyberbullied when she was in secondary school. She told me about it, and she did stuff to her body that wasn't. She harmed herself, like, completely, physically and mentally as well. And she was feeling depressed. And she told me everything about what happened when about what happened to her when she was in secondary school. Yes, the police needs to step in if that happens and it leads to someone harming and taking their own life. Oh dear. It's not good to. It's very sad. It's very sad that people lose their life that way. I always feel bad for people that have taken their life, who lost their life and no longer is in this earth, especially through this, like social media and stuff, and people bullying them and hurting their feelings and stuff. One young person, he's autistic, but he say he's been bullied in college by this other student. But the other student was also bullying him through tech as well, through cyberbullying and actual bullying, that the person experienced both from this person. So thank you for joining. You're very welcome. So if you have any thoughts, please type down your thoughts on what you think of this question. Yeah, this topic is very deep. It's a very big topic as well, because I think a lot of schools. Your life contains me. Okay. Yes, it's a very deep topic. It can. I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable speaking about this. I even got a notification from TikTok just now saying that there is restriction regarding this video, this live, which I totally get, because I know people who have been cyberbullied as well, and the social media companies need to do something. I feel like they just make money without, and they just don't care about anybody apart from themselves. Like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, they don't. None of them really cares. So if they, no one's going to convince them to care anyway. So if you have any thoughts, whoever's joining, please give your thoughts. So that is that. Thank you for sending gifts, and thank you for liking this video. So if you're joining now, or if you have any thoughts, should social media companies be held legally responsible for the content posted by their users? So if you have any thoughts, please type it in the chat, or if you feel comfortable being a guest speaker. I know this topic is very sensitive to a lot of people, and it's sensitive to me as well. I've not been cyberbullied or anything. I've been bullied in school, but not cyberbullied though. But I have experienced bullying, and someone did send racist stuff to me on YouTube when I first started doing YouTube. But I still kept doing YouTube despite. But I never saw the comments that they were posting, because I only found out much later that someone was being, people were being very rude being very racist. Someone was being racist towards me and saying I need to go back to my country and stuff. It was like a website that I was doing. I think it was a DNA video that I did, like during the lockdown, and someone was saying racist stuff. I didn't even see the comment until after, way after. I didn't even know that people were saying, go back to your wherever you came from. To me, people were being very negative towards me. So go back to Africa. And I say, oh, you don't belong here. That's what people were sending me. Kiroro, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So just be mindful when you. But the user is liable because they have to follow guidelines and not post it. Okay, for me, if people say resist stuff to me, I know I'm better than them. Yeah. If you resist doing certain things online, then yes. It's better off. You're better off doing that anyway. If you feel. Some people don't even use social media anymore because of it, which I understand. But I started only using social media in 2014 because I was not even on it at all. I was hardly using it before 2014. Even in 2014, I used Facebook was my go-to social media when I first started using social media. Twitter, I used Twitter, but I wasn't really on it that much, so. But I didn't know my login to delete it, so. But I was on Facebook a lot when I first started using social media. But I knew that I have to be careful online because of certain things that could happen to people. But this is a lot of fake news. Like I was reading some sort of thing that was happening in the local near me, not too close to where I live, but it was around certain. Someone was saying, "Oh, just tag when you're safe," because there's like some sort of thing that was happening, fire or something, and I was like, "What? Is that even real?" Otherwise, I would have seen it in the news. People were posting fake news about people being like the US election. That was in 2015 or so. Kanawi, thanks for joining. You're very welcome to join. I get this topic's very sensitive to people, but you could give your thoughts. If you don't feel comfortable speaking, you could just type in the chat. You have those two options, talk or type. So I feel it's best to be away from certain. Sometimes I just, because one time I use social media. My account even got hacked because of Bitcoin, because it was misinformation. That's kind of why I want it to be restricted. My old Instagram account got hacked, so I had to create a new one. But I didn't create the new one straight away. I left it for a while. But some people just choose to create straight away. I just not used Instagram because I was only on YouTube and TikTok. They were the two social media sites that I was using after my Instagram got hacked. But I've got Instagram now, but I know better from the previous time. But for a social media company, I've even contacted Instagram themselves to actually report someone hacking my account, but they did do nothing. And I really wanted to get it sorted so I don't spread. So it wasn't my fault. I didn't want to be complicit in the social media hacking that I was experiencing myself. So Eden's Building, thanks for joining. Eden's Building Services, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So if you have any thoughts on this question, please do give a response of some sort. So that's why I say yes to companies being held legally responsible, because it can harm people's lives, like well-being, physical, mental, emotional well-being, financial well-being as well. Because I even got scammed on social media as well, so that's why I say yes. It happened during after lockdown actually. So if you're joining now, this is a debate about if social media companies should be held legally accounted for the content being posted on social media. So you just give your thoughts on what you think, if you have anything to say upon it, if you feel like speaking. But if not, you can just type in the chat. Is it Bio? Thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So if you're joining now, for those that are joining now, you just give your thoughts. Oh, someone wants to say something. Okay, I accept.
Hi, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
how are you?
Not too bad. So I think it depends on what you're holding them accountable for, because I mean, obviously there's some things they can control, but there's some things that they have no control over, and we can't really hold them accountable for things that are out of their control.
Okay. So what do you mean
Like,
by that exactly? Well, give an
I'm
example.
okay, so like for women, like extorting, or are you even allowed to say that word? Um, like women who throw themselves out there, like OnlyFans, or are you allowed to say
Okay.
that? Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like the whole
Yes, I
corn
do.
industry. I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like they can't really filter it, like I know that there has been cases where people have reported people and like they look into it, but I mean the fact that they're trying to like, filter the internet and get it off the internet, I feel like that's not going to happen. There's too many people that buy into it and that support it.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
TikTok, there's so much bad that happens on
Yes.
TikTok. They could not ban it. They tried to, but that didn't work. That lasted at what, 24 hours or something.
Yeah. I've seen
Um,
content that hasn't been banned, that's meant to be banned, but they're not banning it. Like I've seen people
mm,
like wearing certain outfits or doing inappropriate things or pranks. I've seen pranks about someone trying to kiss someone as a prank, and I said, what is going on with these people? They never got banned for it. They never got banned. But one YouTuber, I think he nearly got banned. I think he got banned for doing it, pranking people.
um, yeah, no, well, if you're talking about somebody famous, like I can name KSI, for example, his content when he originally joined TikTok was going up to like random women and like kissing them like just kissing them on
Yeah.
the forehead or like grabbing their cheek or like hugging them from behind and just grabbing them, harassing them. Like it was straight up harassment. And like he didn't
Yeah.
even, I think he got his account taken away for like 2 months. Same with the Logan Paul situation where he went to Japanese on a live forest and he
Oh
saw
yeah, I
somebody.
remember that
Yeah,
video. Yeah.
he got his account taken away for a year, I think, and then they gave it back to him. So they gave it back to him, and now people, think it was a joke, and now everybody's going there and like disrespecting. It's not like sacred land, but it's definitely a place of like mourning and like you don't go there
Yeah.
and like dress up as Pokemon and chase each other around the freaking forest. Like it's not a joke. That place is not a joke. I
Yeah.
also seen people do it at Auschwitz as well. They went there and they were recording it and taking it as a joke, and it wasn't funny. Like it literally was not funny. It was so disrespectful, and it just makes no. To me, I don't understand it either. I think right now, because of all these like technicalities on like who even owns it. Like even the owner itself doesn't want it anymore. The guy who created TikTok doesn't even want TikTok anymore. He's literally trying to sell it to other people and other corporations so that they can take over because he's getting in so much crap from all these people around the world, like and all these influencers and like record labels and like all these brands and like companies that he's like, okay, maybe I bit off too much that or yeah, like you know what I mean? He bit off too much. He can't handle
Yeah.
it. He
Yeah.
has
It's
the
so
money.
much. Yeah.
He has the money. He could literally hire people to filter shit. Like just like anywhere else, like Facebook or Instagram or like YouTube, not so much. I mean, they really don't filter anything on there either, but they have people that do like somewhat check up on it and like check the comments. They're starting to like clock that, but
Yeah.
they haven't really
Yeah.
stopped everything.
Yeah.
But they got like literally millions of lawsuits pending against that. Well, I'm exaggerating by saying millions, but I wouldn't doubt it if it's not millions of complaints because I've complained on so much stuff that I've seen on there. So much like animal cruelty. Like I literally will report every count that I see. I'll comment on them. I'll even like you go to appeal board, the appeal messages you
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, I didn't see anything wrong with that video. You didn't see anything wrong with her throwing puppies into a river? What the are you kidding me? Like I don't care if that video is 15 years old and everybody saw it 15 years ago. It's still going around. It's still on YouTube. People are still posting it. You know how easy it is for them to
Yeah.
find the source? And the thing is that now they're making money on it also. They're making
Yeah.
so much money on these videos.
It's horrible, isn't it? So it's very horrible. I don't know why people are still online to begin with, and they even come up with these ideas. I don't know. Yeah, I get. I feel like they have to be banned, but they're not being banned. I know we still see this content every now and again, but I feel like they're not acting on what they're supposed to act on, and it's e-safety. E-safety is a very big thing, and we all know as content creators what we're supposed to post and what we're not meant to post. And I saw videos of people doing negative things, and I see like this doesn't make sense. So I don't
Um, I,
know
s-
why you.
I saw a riot recently. I don't know where it was, but these women were like basically walking around naked with like flags painted on their chest with the
Yeah,
swastika symbol on it. I don't know where that happened. I think it was the States, but I could be wrong. Could have been Europe or something. And like all of that is like all over TikTok right now. Like that's literally everywhere I look is like it's talking about that riot. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, the more you post about it, the more they I don't know what their point of that was. It's like they were trying to raise awareness or like basically spit in people's face. And the fact that they made them all famous is like that's the reason why they did it. You know what I mean? That what else do you think they did it for? You think they just walked down the street and were like, oh, I'm just gonna go take a walk, you know what I mean, and paint this symbol on my shirt and not like try and cause a riot. Like they're getting the attention that they wanted. And that's the thing also is that like that's what it is people want attention and they're
Clickbait,
getting attention and then they complain
clout,
about it like
clout, because people want attention for it.
100%. But like, why aren't people talking about the protests that actually matter? Like the ones that are actually trying to like free Palestine or, you know, like other like, you know, gay rights or something. I'm exaggerating with the gay
Yeah,
rights, but they used to do that in Canada. It's been like they've had equal rights here for like decades now. But the states, though, I mean, the states don't have all rights in every state. Like, they only have rights in maybe, I think, 20 states. They still have not gotten fully, like, LGBTQ friendly and open and
mm.
accepting. So that's the shit that they should really be posting about. Um,
Yeah, but that content's getting banned or being restricted or blocked. Some people have to remove content
it
about
is. You can't even
Palestine and
say
stuff.
it. You can't even say, well,
They're
I
just
mean,
spreading awareness, but they have
you,
to remove it.
yeah, you can say LGBTQ, but you can't say gay or something. I don't know. You're not allowed to say that, apparently.
Yeah, you can't say certain things. Yeah,
So that's
you have
kind of why
to.
like I think Discord's going to change though in like the next few months cuz a new owner had just got it. He hasn't even really like dipped into it yet on like what needs to be like changed about it. Because I feel like influencers should be getting paid a lot more. I feel like they should be I think they get like 10 cents to every dollar or something of gifts that they get. They should be getting paid way more than that. Um they should be getting all of it actually. If somebody is paying 100 and something dollars for gifts, they should be get all of it. Like TikTok is a platform, but like they make enough money with like with brands and companies and deals that they get like
Yeah.
they make enough. They don't need money from the influencers. Sorry, I gotta go. My
Okay,
dog
thank you
just got.
for.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for giving your thoughts.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Oh, how do you get off? So, anybody has any thoughts on this question? Please give your thoughts or say. You could type or you can actually join as guest speaker if you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, then you could type in the chat. KB, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So the question, it's only one question. You don't need to, it's not a test, it's your opinion. So if you have any thoughts, Ryan, thank you for coming on. You're very welcome. Trump, number 47, thank you for joining. I should not really be saying your name, your username, to be honest. Because Donald Trump is one of the ones that does spread false information on certain things. She gave very good answers though about why content can't be restricted, and I feel like the same thing. Like they're not really doing anything to restrict that content because that content, like for example, someone going around pranking someone, trying to randomly grope people's buttocks or kiss them from behind or hug them, or try and take money from them or pretend they're taking money. So one TikToker, he dodged a post, like he bumped a, what do you call it, the gate for travel, and people think it's acceptable doing antisocial behavior. Can that's another thing as well that people don't get restricted for, is antisocial behavior on TikTok. I've seen a lot of videos on antisocial behavior that people are posting. Well, some people are posting without people's consent, actually, which is not good. But I know that's not going to get restricted anyway. It's always up to the person. I feel like it's usually up to the user because they're the ones who chose to post the content initially, even though they're not always aware of what they're posting, which sometimes, like, there's misunderstanding between the social media companies and the user as well. So sometimes the user don't feel like their content's bad or anything. So if you have any thoughts, so those that are joining, I have been restricted on some aspects because of the violation of community guidelines, which I understand because this topic is very sensitive to people. Like I talked about the cyberbullying earlier on, because it's still an issue that I feel social media companies should be looking into. But some social media companies don't really care anymore, like the TikTok. As she was mentioning, TikTok owner wants to sell it now because they don't have interest in using the app, and owning the app anymore or something. Yes, they have the money, but they just don't care about it to do something. So people are just turning a blind eye. Some are the owners of whoever even owns some social media platforms, like some of them have to be sold to someone who's more wealthier or more influential, like the guy who sold Twitter, the person who founded Twitter had to sell it to Elon Musk because they couldn't afford to run the app anymore. So Elon has more money than the owner of Twitter. I can't remember his name. I think it's Jack something. I can't remember. Elon had to, but he rebranded Twitter as X. So I use X, but not for my own personal thing. But I use it for the charity that I'm volunteering for currently, and I use LinkedIn on occasion for the charity and for myself as a professional profile. And it's similar to Facebook, you know, but LinkedIn is one of the good social media platforms, I would say, for businesses. It's But with social media, if you're posting, you do need to, and you want to post something that's political or something. And Andrea, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. If you want to post anything political, for example, you do need to check your sources because of the fake news stuff and the misinformation. Thanks, or Bo, I should say. Thanks for joining. You're very welcome. You could type or you could join as guest speaker to give your thoughts on this highly controversial topic about social media companies being legally accounted for. But it depends on the content, which I get. And sometimes, if you're spreading awareness, they mistake it as bad content as well. Because they're saying that you're promoting other people's suffering. Or you're just making clout from people's suffering. Which I hear. I get it. I get why some people. Is that virtue signaling, basically? In terms of the people just pretending they give a shit about a cause like Palestine or LGBTQ plus rights, for example, but they really don't give a shit. And people have called out some influencers for doing that and for not caring. Water virus visuals, thanks for joining the live. I think I remember that I've seen that username before. So I think you joined yesterday or Thursday, one of the 2 days. Because social media content happens instantly. And you don't, it's a lot, people reach, it has very, very massive reach, basically. Because social media, anyone can access it. Anybody can. You don't need to be, because you're online. It's not an in-person thing. Like the reach, like people can access harmful content. That there's I never used this website, but it's called Tumblr. It be used to get negative hate for the content that people are posting. Maybe because of what happened in the past, and people used to post stuff about images of harmful images, but can't say certain things on here because I know I'm going to get restricted. I already been restricted by TikTok, so that is that. But I still feel like this topic needs to be spoken about. I feel like schools as well, because of the whole. There's this TV series called Adolescence. I've been recommended numerous times to actually go and watch the series, which I plan to do in my own time. That I'll watch Adolescence because it's all about toxic masculinity and this kid who caused unalived another student in his class, a female student in his class. I've been given a few stories, so it's a very massive thing, like how social media can influence people to do certain acts that could have detrimental impacts on people's that consequences as well, could have very serious repercussions. So I guess so I would say yes for that reason. That, but it's very hard to restrict content sometimes. I feel social media companies are really struggling, and owners don't. Some of them don't know what to do, or maybe they just don't care. I feel like they just don't care. People say they don't know what to do, but I feel like it's more to the fact they don't really give a damn, really. Thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So it's all about, should social media companies be held legally responsible for the content posted by their users? So this is the question. So if you have any thoughts, you could actually join as a guest speaker. Invite yourself as a guest speaker, then I will accept the invite, and then you could say what you think. Or you could type your answers. You have to have a reason, but you could type your thoughts and stuff. So because there's many reasons, and it's a very deep topic, as we all know. So that I know people don't always feel comfortable. This is a very uncomfortable topic, even for myself, because I have experienced certain things to do with social media. That's fraud. I've been scammed through social media before, because I got scammed. I even got hacked on social media, and no company is doing anything about it. Social media. Instagram don't even do nothing, because I had tried to find the email about my account being hacked on there. They didn't do anything. They basically didn't even do anything. I had to sort out the issue myself. I don't even remember how I sorted it out, but I just sorted it by getting the account. I just had to report the account and block it for other viewers. Because it got to a stage where someone was actually in control of my own account. You can even get scammed on social media. I got scammed as well on social media, not just hacked. It was the scam happened before the hacking. It was both separate situations. They're not by the same. The scam happened first for me. I reported it as a crime. I got the police involved for the scam that I experienced through WhatsApp. The scammer was using coercive control to make me give money to him, and I never opened up to anybody about it until like a few weeks ago, actually, and never spoken about this. Not even my family told me not to speak about it because they think I'm not in a good place to be stressed to talk about it. I was very stressed at the time though. I was in some sort of distress to the point that I was really losing it. So if you have any thoughts, do give your say. If not, then no worries. It would be nice to hear from people. But if not, that's absolutely your choice. So I will hold on for like a few minutes more before ending the live. So thank you for joining. You're very welcome. Haskufo, thanks for joining. This is the question if you feel like you want to answer this question. You could type, or if you feel like you can speak, please do. It's your opinion on what you think. It's mostly down to your opinion. Because my opinion is much different to yours. Because I'm mostly saying yes as an opinion. Because I feel about the e-safety regulations. It's a very e-safety thing to have social media companies being held legally responsible for content posted, but at the same time I do feel the user is responsible, which one of my commenters was saying when they were talking in the chat. I said yes, they need to be held responsible, accounted for legally, but the user has to be held legally accounted for as well. If it's something to do with a serious issue like that needs policing, like cyberbullying, for example, then I would say yes for that reason. That legal aspect of social media being responsible. Companies being held responsible for, yes, they have to take action. If it's something serious or posting hate speech and making derogatory comments about people or saying racist or sexist remarks or something, that should actually be a issue. But it's a crime as well to do hate speech on someone, to use a hate crime on someone. You can actually go to prison. I can't remember the sentence, the jail time in the UK. In the UK, it's illegal. You get arrested and you can be tried in front of courts, on court trial. But I felt the scam on me when I was on social media. It's like 2022, beginning of 2021, late 2021. So it was a month after I ended my relationship with my partner. So me and my partner were together, but I no longer was with him after this, before the scam happened. But I didn't know it was I got scammed. Not on not only on WhatsApp, but I got scammed. The scam happened on Instagram initially, but I didn't realize it was a scam. I thought it was just a charitable cause, but I didn't know it was a scam. Thank you, Enzo, for joining. So if you have any thoughts, you could actually do so in the chat or join as guest speaker if you feel like you want to talk. This is the question on top of my head, if you have any thoughts. But I know this topic is very sensitive to people, so I'm just giving my answers to yes, but you could disagree if you don't believe if you don't agree, or if you're on the fence, you could actually say why you're on the fence as well. So it works both ways. Someone said the user is responsible for it, not just it's the user's responsibility for what they post online and who they're following on social media and all those things. And I agree that in a sense it's true, yes. But some social media users are not always aware of what they're posting. But I feel like most of the time they should be conscious about what they're doing and what the content is and who they're posting. I mean, what they're posting, the video, what they're writing, or what they are trying to promote. The girl who did the apetamin, I was talking about, I watched this BBC Three documentary about this influencer posting something about apetamin. My sister told me about this. I didn't even know about it until my sister told me. Then I actually saw the news. First, I saw the news. At first, my sister told me, but then we saw the news. Me, my mum, and my grandma was seeing the news. Then I watched the BBC Three documentary about this girl, influencer posting. People were posting stuff about the apetamin medication. It was supposed to promote quick weight loss for people who have suffered, who found weight loss very hard. They have that medication to help them, that medicine to help them get rid of the weight loss. She said her mum lost a lot of weight, but then she didn't realize her mother had side effects from it. But that was much later, after she promoted it. People felt like she was cheating them in believing that it's actually promoted. She gave false truth about what the product was, because that is misinformation or disinformation or misinformation on social media, using your platform to promote a product that you don't know anything about. You don't even know the side effects. You didn't even check what the ingredients are, and you're recommending something. But she used the product as well. Her mum told her, she said, "Oh, I need to tell people about this." And then it became a serious. She had side effects as well from it. Her mother had it first, but then she had it after, because she knew her mum. They both used it. Her mum got recommended it. Then she got recommended by her mum. Then she started talking about it on social media. I feel people need to be held responsible as well, in some ways, but not all the time. Sometimes users are not always aware of what they're posting, you know, like, which I get when the person said users need to know they're responsible for who they're following and what posts they really like seeing on their feeds and what content they actually watch online and stuff. So, and the comments they write as well, that's responsibility too. It's people's responsibility. So, thank you for joining. You're very welcome. Any thoughts, OG? Thanks for joining as well. Surfovicious, if I'm saying the name right, thank you for joining. You're very welcome. So, if you have any thoughts on this question, please do. I know this topic's very sensitive to people because there's certain things that could come up in terms of harmful and violence content, extremist content as well. Like, people do post these kind of content as well, political stuff that could actually make people influence people's behaviors or people's views on things, brainwash people into believing in certain ideologies. So if you have any thoughts, please do share it. It'll be nice to hear from you or see you. Type your thoughts in the chat if you can. If you're not able to speak right now, you could type it in the chat. So, Ndanga, thanks for joining. You're very welcome. So if you have thoughts on this, please share it if you can via Nickix. Thanks for joining. You're very welcome. This is the question viewer. So the question is, should social media companies be held legally responsible for the content posted by their users? But my own answer is yes, but I know there is some aspects that users need to be held accountable for because they're the ones who started posting the post initially, and they need to be responsible for not just what they're posting, but who they're following online and what they're watching online, and not, I think, flagging it, like report certain content that isn't appropriate or can have detrimental impacts on people's well-being or can influence people to copy behaviors that they shouldn't really be copying. Or life hacks is dangerous as well. Like they need, because of the health and safety regulations on, like, some life hacks are very dangerous. One girl, she went to hospital for burning herself because she thought that life hacks would work for her. She was getting it from 5 Minute Crafts. I think that's a YouTube channel that deserves to be banned. Because life hacks is very, very dangerous. My grandma, I was watching the news with my ITV News with my grandma, and she was reacting, saying that people are too foolish. Yes, they are foolish. She's not wrong, because the reason why I get why she says that, because it is the user's responsibility on what they're looking at as well, not just on what they're posting, but what they're seeing online and what they choose to make of the content, or how to respond to that content if they feel it benefits them, or but it didn't benefit her in the long term because she had long-term scars from that content that she thought it was a life hack and it worked for another one person. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So I think social media companies need to say this, or at least give a notification on. But some companies do, like TikTok, saying this video is performed by professionals, for example, or be informed on financial decisions or something. Because or just this content contains very graphic imagery or something. So and I get that, but I think sometimes some content needs to be different. They don't know how to differentiate it. And people spreading positive awareness videos do get banned quite a bit. Or some content regarding, like, history, like people posting about what happened in one history content creator got banned on TikTok because he kept getting blocked for saying certain words, like anything to do with Nazi Germany or to do with, like, slavery and colonialism and stuff. People get banned for saying certain words, basically. And not those issues are very important. Like, historical content has been banned. Content that shouldn't really be banned are being banned sometimes. But some content that has to be banned, like pranks and antisocial behavior stuff, content, like someone said they want to do a challenge to bump all the not pay for train tickets. Is that legal activity, basically? Or trespassing in another building. So in TikToker, he always does content about sneaking into different buildings and stuff. Like, he went into a studio to watch a music studio to watch people do music, create their music and play their songs on the tracks on the music systems. I don't know what they are. I'm not a musician in any way. Thank you, Alison, for coming on. You're very welcome. Anastasia, thanks for joining. Cami95, thanks for joining us as well. Any thoughts about this will be great. I know this topic's very deep, which I get, someone told me, but I have made sure this is certain things can't be said on here, which I get. I know we can't say some stuff to do for OnlyFans. OnlyFans is actually a social media site that needs to be banned, actually, or needs to do something about their content. And sometimes TikTok as well. Because on here, sometimes I get restricted for no reason. But the appeal process works in my favour. But I'm not gonna appeal for this because of the restriction that I have been labelled on here. On this video now. I don't want to be restricted for it. Yeah, I have been restricted anyway, so in some ways. Like I said about the cyberbullying earlier. It's fine if you don't feel comfortable giving your thoughts, because I know it's very deep. But if you want to give thoughts on your opinions and stuff, so yeah, if you have anything to say upon it, you can join as guest speaker if you can, or you could type in the chat about what you think. It's mostly about legal accountability by social media companies in terms of the content that's been posted by the users who are using those platforms. But it's very hard to restrict or for them to. But banning is the harder bit. Some content never gets, like nudity. I see people being. But YouTube has stopped content that promotes nude or sexual. I'm gonna get into trouble now. SCX, like coitus, which is the scientific word for it, let's say. Explicit activities or antisocial behavior never gets banned on TikTok. They just promote antisocial, like people bumping into train doors, because this happens often in the UK. If you live in the UK, you'll know that people are posting videos about antisocial behavior, like bumping into, not paying for their tickets, or bumping into gates that require you to pay for your travel, or trying to get on buses for free when you're supposed to pay, and trespassing. And Star, thanks, Star Gacha, thanks for joining, if that's how you say it, your name on your username. If you have any thoughts, you can join as guest speaker. If not, you could just type. However you want to do. But this is the question that I'm proposing or getting people to. Angela, bless. Thank you for joining. So this is the question. If you have any thoughts, please type. If you don't have any thoughts, or you could speak join as guest speaker if you can. Edu5, thanks for joining. You're very much welcome to join. This is the question. Should social media companies be legally held responsible for the content posted by their users? But someone said it was merely down to the user. And another person said it depends. Because some content can't get banned. Or they tried banning it, but they can't. Like TikTok content. Some content has been banned previously, but they stopped banning it. Because they don't bother with it anymore. Because it's now normalized on here. Like people wearing skimpy outfits or stuff like I've seen people posting stuff wearing clothes that are not appropriate online or doing dance moves that are just pretty outlandish. I don't know what to say. Like some content never gets banned on it. Or using like social media companies need to be held accountable. Copyright as well. They have to. People need to be responsible for that, but I don't care for myself. Because if someone's reusing my video, but if they're reusing it in a negative way, then I'll have to report them. But if they're not reusing that video in a negative way, then okay. So that's that. So I'll wait for another minute before I end. So if you're joining now, please do. If not, so hopefully someone else joins. If not, then I will just end. So that is that. I haven't come up with anything else yet, but I will think of topics or just do something else. Or think of something, maybe do my quizzes on Blue Kids. Initially, I wanted to do quizzes on here, you know. So, if you have no one else joining, thank you for joining the live. I'll see you maybe either tomorrow or Monday. Bye.